We're now at the halfway point of the 2012 GP4 Offline Championship. I am your host, George Roke, and welcome to the German Grand Prix here at Hockenheim, where for the first time we are using the current layout, not the old layout. As before the race, the drivers did a vote on which track they wanted, and in the end it was very close, but they decided to do the new layout for once. So let's see how that goes. So there'll be 67 laps. The tyres we will be using are the hard tyres. But first of all, let's go over the race rating and the driver of the day for the British Grand Prix. So the race rating was given a 5.7 out of 10, and the driver of the day was given to the returning Will Kneller, who took an impressive 4th place finish on his return to this series. It should also be noted that Evan Byrne is returning for this race, so Will Kneller will be back to being test driver for the time being. But it was nice seeing him back, but it is obviously good as well that Evan Byrne is returning to the car as well. So it should be an interesting Grand Prix, the first time we're using the current layout. So anyway, let's go on to the grid. So George Roke took his first pole position for, I believe it's like 4 seasons since 2008, with Florian Volker in second. It should be noted also it was a wet qualifying session. Joseph Willis was third, Viggo Holst was in 4th, Wes Cooper 5th, and Evan Byrne in 6th. 7th was Miklos Gau and Roland Moitin in 8th place. Move on to the 5th row of the grid was Jay McKenzie and Alex Southgate for Mercedes. And as we move now on to the 6th row of the grid, we have Sam Thompson and Robert Ionescu for Sauber. On row 7 in 13th place, we have a good qualifying from Zachary Fitzwater for Virgin and Amar Khan in 14th for Force India. 15th place is Michael Mocho. That's something I forgot to mention. He's replacing De Rossa after his horrendous crash at the British Grand Prix, so he will be filling in for him for just this race. Oliver Glazebrook is in 16th, Franco Gamba in 17th, Adam Wolf 18th, 19th place is Brifke Harkazay, not a great qualifier from him. In 20th place is Sean Grant, 21st place Roman Quag, and on the last of the grid, after having a 20 place grid penalty, I believe, Felix Sontag is last on the grid. And so we're now going to move on to the weather, and you can see the weather will be perfectly dry for the race, so should be very interesting indeed on how this goes. So let's get on with this. So the first race on the current layout on Hockenheim, as the old layout has been used for pretty much the last the last races that have been used in the OC, but we'll see how this goes. Anyway, so it is George Roke on pole for the first time. Yeah, sorry about my voice. Anyway, George Roke on pole for the first time. We're now having the 5 lights are now coming on. The 5 lights are on. And we're underway for the German Grand Prix. And who is going to get the jump into turn 1? It looks like George Roke's got a fantastic start. Volker's made a poor start. He's already been overtaken by the Ferrari. I believe that is where he's going. Oh, there's a car gone off at turn 1. And that's Evan Byrne on his return. And a Red Bull's been involved as well. Miklos Gau. Oh, my goodness me. I don't know how that's happened. But they have taken each other out at the start of the race. Not the return that Byrne wanted, and not the race that Miklos Gau wanted as well. So what has happened here? Do we need to have another look? Let's go on board with Byrne. He made a pretty good start from P6. He moved up into P5, and let's see, was there any contact made? And oh, it looks like Gau went into Byrne. Let's have a look on board with Gau. He's making his way past Waze Kuba, and oh, he just went into the back, and he actually he nearly made Byrne take out his own teammate there. But oh dear, that was a bad mistake there by Miklos Gau. Let's go on board with Roland Moitin from his point of view. He's gained a couple of positions from this. And there is the contact just right there, just clipped each other. And Byrne just very lucky not to take out his teammate there. But Waze Kuba just managed to get around, and Moitin just squeezed through there. As Gau came right back on the circuit, right in front of Jay McKenzie there. But what a start we've had to this race. Ionescu's already got up to 9th. So we've had a lot of positions moved, and I don't think there's been any other contact anywhere. But this is a dramatic start to the race that we've had. As Roke has already got a comfortable lead over Joseph Willis in 2nd place and Viggo Holst in 3rd. As we look down the order, Ionescu's in 10th. Fitzwater's moved up to 10th. Great start from him. Michael Mocho in 15th, battling with Felix Sontag with Roman Quag. There's gone, and oh, Oliver Glazebrook's off. Oliver Glazebrook is now out, so something has happened to him. And where is that at? I'm not sure, but he's had a collision somewhere, and who is that with? Because he's 19th, so is there another car involved? I don't know, I don't know what's going on here. I'm not sure, but Oliver Glazebrook. Oh no! Oh, it's Amar Khan. So Amar Khan, there it is. It's out of the race. So that is at turn 2. That's literally just after the Gau Byrne incident. So what has happened? What a start we've had to this race. So we need to go back and have a look to see what else has occurred here at the start of the race. So let's go back and have a look what happened. So Glazebrook, who is moved up to 13th as they came into turn 2. And oh dear, I mean, Glazebrook just ran into the back of car there, who got held up by the Toro Rosso of, I think that was Franco Gamba in front of him there. And that has put him out the race. Let's have a look, go on board with Cars, who's in 12th place. He was right behind Thompson, who did, you could say, he did come out ahead of him there. And I think there was contact. And yes, there was a bit of contact, which caused Car to slow down. But I don't think he expected Glazebrook to come in that quickly. And that has spun him round. And that is Car out of the race. Not the start that those two would have wanted. So, wow, we've already had 4 cars out in the space of 2 corners. So, I mean, it's been a great start on the new layout, but the moment Roke still leads ahead of Willows in 2nd. Holst is in 3rd at the moment. Ionesco, I think, has dropped down to 9th. There's Ricky Parker in 14th. To look up the order, Moitin in 6th, as there's Willows just about sticking behind Roke at the front. As they come across the line, the first lap completed the new track, as Joseph Willows sets the fastest lap of the race. As now, oh no, and there's Mackenzie's got a problem. And Jay Mackenzie's got a throttle problem. And he's just gone past the pit, so he's going to have to go, looks like, through the whole lap with that problem on his car now. That is not what he wanted indeed, as he's going to drop down the order, as now Southgate is going to go past him on the back straight, although it's not making it very easy for him, but Southgate now does go past, and now I imagine more cars behind him, so Ionescu is now behind it. Will he try and make the move into the hairpin? And the answer is yes, he does, although Mackenzie does attempt to defend, and now Thompson goes on the inside, and does he make it stick? And now he does, but for Jay Mackenzie, not the race he would have wanted, but as compared to his teammate Roke, who's currently leading, but he's got a long way to go if he wants to get to the pits. Let's hope he can, as he's now being overtaken by Franco Gamba coming into the stadium section. And it looks like, and he's still going at the moment, but he's dropping position after position after position. He's got 25 laps worth of fuel, so it looks like he would probably go on the 2-stop strategy, so I imagine it probably won't change when he does go into the pits, as he now comes into the last section of the lap. And now he's probably going to hold up all the cars behind him, because it is quite difficult to overtake in this bit. As Roke now comes through and sets the fastest lap, on the, as you saw on your screen there. Mackenzie now comes through and now gets into the pits, but unfortunately for him, that is going to cost him a lot of time that he really didn't need to lose, but he could still easily recover it. We've only been 4 laps and there's still 63 laps to go. Got it right in the end. As oh no, and then and now he's going to have to wait for the team to come out. So the team have been quite slow at coming out, so they're going to hold up Mackenzie here. It's not exactly what he would have wanted at all. And he now finally gets the problem fixed. So now here we are looking at the 2 Toro Rossos of Sam Thompson and Franco Gamba, who are right behind Robert Ionescu in the battle for the final point spot. As Thompson's now defending from Gamba as they come into turn 1, and that's going to affect them, because that's going to allow Ionescu to get away. And now Thompson under pressure from Gamba, and Gamba's now going to make a move coming into turn 2, and he's going to make it stick, and yes he does. But now they've lost a lot of ground to Ionescu up in front, so they're now going to have to try and get it back again, although Thompson has dropped far behind, so Gamba looks like he's going to go for it. So now here we are looking at Felix Sontag, who's attacking Adam Wolf, coming down the back straight side by side, and he's going to make the move stick coming into the hairpin. And yes he does, he's now up into P14. Not really been a great season for Sontag so far since the start. He's only scored 2 points, finishes a 4th and a 6th. As he's now got the Williams right behind him. Here's Sean Grant battling with Zachary Fitzwater. Don't collide, boys. I mean, you collided enough times this season. Just stop touching each other, please. As in now it's still side by side, but Grant has made the move stick, and now Sontag is going to sneak through as well, up into 13th place, and he could have the other version of Grant coming down the back straight if he's got enough slipstream, and yes he does. And he's now going to take both versions into the hairpin, and he's now made the move stick. Nearly a bit of contact there as he made his way past Grant, as now Grant goes a little bit wide, and that's going to allow Fitzwater to attack him. As now Joseph Willows comes in for his first stop, so he's going on a long stint, so 30 laps. So I imagine he probably is going on the 2-stop, because I mean that is quite a long stint, but we'll see how that works out for him. So he's come out in P5, so he's come out ahead of Rolo Moichin. He's come up behind Volker. As now Franco Gamba comes into the pits. He had just less than a litre to go, as he now comes into the pits for his first stop. 24 laps, so I imagine 2-stop, I guess. Don't know, he might have to do a long stint at the end, but we shall see. As now Gamba comes out of the pits, and he's going to flag, and oh my god, and that is Rivki Farkazane, whose car is completely destroyed. And where is that at? And I believe that is... I think that's coming into turn... Oh, and Sontag's around. So it is involving him. Oh, and there's a Virgin involved as well. And that is Sean Grant. And so something has happened here. That is at turn 2, I believe. And yes, it is. So Grant is out the race. And oh, Ricky Farquharson is... Well, no, that's the one we've just seen. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying that. But anyway, George Roke's also in the pits. But Sean Grant is out. Ricky Farquharson is out. Sontag was around. So I imagine he was involved in it as well. But oh my goodness me, we need to have a look at to see what has happened there. Because that seems like a monumental crash. So let's have a look. So it was a battle between Ricky Farquharson and Sontag. Then coming into the corner, and oh my god, and then Farquharson's car gets launched into the air. And then Sontag's car actually caught Grant by the looks of it. So let's have a look at it from Grant's point of view. As you can see, coming in, there was just a bit tight, and then there's Sontag who just lifts Farquharson's car into the air, and then goes the car completely disintegrating on him. And as he comes around, Grant just, it was an innocent bystander, and Sontag, again, he somehow doesn't get any damage from that. I mean, he is literally invincible, as the car's just about avoiding him, and there's a wheel just right on the curb there, coming into the corner. And unfortunately, Sontag did try and turn all the way. I mean, I don't think you could really blame anyone for that, to be honest, but that's quite unfortunate there for Farquharson and for Grant, and also for Sontag as well. So unfortunately for Sontag, he's going to lose a number of positions. His poor start to the season continues, really. But he finally does rejoin, but he's lost a lot of ground as Roke comes in now for his first stop. Now here is Sam Thompson battling with Robert Ionescu, the only Sauber now left in the race. And is he going to make it stick into the hairpin? And yes, he does, although Ionescu is going to be right behind. Is he going to try and make a move straight back on him? He's got the slipstream. Will he try and make a move into the stadium section? We'll see. Is he going to try and make a move? He's right behind him, but no, he doesn't. He's now here on board with Michael Mocho, returning to the series, filling in for De Rosso, who had that horrific incident in the British Grand Prix. He's now trying to overtake Fitzwater. He's on the inside, coming into turn 2. It's going to be quite tight. He's going to make it stick. And oh, and Mocho went onto the curb a little bit there. I thought he was going to lose it there, but he didn't. But he completes the move and he moves up into P10. So now here we are looking at, I believe this is Jay McKenzie battling with Roman Quag, trying to recover after that throttle problem he suffered earlier on. He's now going to be right behind him as he now come on to the front straight, and surely he's now going to make the move stick coming into the hairpin. He's got the slipstream, he's got the speed of that Lotus, and he's going to be on the inside of the hairpin surely. And the answer is yes, he is. He now gets on the inside and he now completes the move for P14, as now Quag actually tries to get him back. He's now trying to get alongside McKenzie, but surely McKenzie's got it into the right-hander, and oh, he has to back off there. Does Quag, but McKenzie now has it. How has it done as he comes into the stadium section of the lap, and now in comes Viggo Holst for his first stop of the race. And let's see how much fuel they put into his car. Didn't quite catch how much Roke had, but let's have a look. Oh, so it's only 15 laps. It looks like it's going to be a 3-stopper then for McLaren. Is that really the right strategy? I don't know. I mean, I think the 2-stop would probably be the way to go. I mean, it depends really on how on what Viggo's Holst's pace is like. And is he just going to come out ahead of Rella Moitin? And he does just about. So that could be important come the end of the race, but Moitin is going to be right behind him onto the straight. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to make a move unless Holst can get away. And I think he may have done. As now here we are looking at McKenzie, who's now trying to pass Franco Gamba coming into the hairpin. And he's made it stick. He's now up into P10, so he's now recovered into, well, the top 10, but not yet the points. As they now come down into the stadium section, McKenzie now has that move done and dusted. So now here we are looking at, I believe this is Felix Sontag, who's now on the inside of Zachary Fitzwater. And he makes the move for P15 into the hairpin. And he makes it stick as they now come out of the hairpin, and that is a move done by Sontag. Will he be able to get any points out of this race? I mean, if a few people self-destruct and maybe retire, then probably, but it's not looking great at the moment, let's be honest, as now Rella Moitin comes in for a pit stop. And let's see how much fuel they put into his car. And it's 21 laps, so he'll pit once more before the end. As that is, I believe, Caterham ready for a driver in front. That will be Quag actually. As now Southgate makes his stop. He's got 18 laps of fuel, so he'll pit once more before the end. He comes out in P9. He's going to come out, looks like, just ahead of Franco Gamba in the Toro Rosso. Gamba try and make a move into turn 2. Not quite. He defends there. And here's Robert Ionescu running in 6th place, but he, I imagine, I think, will be pitting soon as Gamba's now stuck behind Southgate. But will he try and make a move? on the back straight. He's got the slipstream and is now moving to 7th gear over to 300 kilometers an hour, probably now up to 200 miles an hour. He's now on the inside and he's going to make the move stick with P9 into the hairpin. And does he make it stick? The answer is yes, he does just about. But now is Southgate going to try and make a move on the inside? He was attempting it. As now we look at Jay McKenzie coming in for a pit stop, for his second stop. Will he go to the end? The answer is no, he won't, as he obviously had that throttle problem, so he'll pit once more before the end. His second stop, technically. Anyway, so he comes out in P12. Now here we are looking at Roman Quagg, who's battling here with, I think Waze Cooper, and oh my god! And Quagg has just gone into the back of Waze Cooper there. I don't really know what he's doing there. I mean, that is a quite bizarre thing to do there from Roman Quagg. I really don't know what he was thinking. He's just crashed into the back of Kuba, who was trying to get after George Roke in front. That is just a really, really bizarre decision there from Quagg, and they almost made contact again. Like, my word. And now Kuba's going to try and make a move back on him, coming into the right-hander, and he now does so. I mean, I don't know really what Quagg was thinking there. That was just a really bizarre move, to say the least. But anyway, Franco Gamba's now in the pits for Toro Rosso. Let's see how much fuel they put in, and will he go to the end? Will be interesting to see. And the answer is, as he comes into the pits, will he go to the end? 25 laps. No, he will not go to the end. So he'll do a late stop. As now Adam Wolf comes in for a stop as well. He only had 0.3 litres left, so he was running very close to empty there. But he was certainly using it to effect. And you can see Wolf is going to go to the end. So I don't know why Franco Gamba hasn't, but we'll see how that works out for Adam Wolf. I don't know if it's enough to get any points, but we shall see. As now Waze Kuba comes in, will he go to the end on this set of tyres? And yes, he will go to the end as well. So this could be a fascinating end of the race. So he comes into the pits. I don't believe Roke has made another stop yet, but I imagine he'll have to make one more before the end. So let's see where he comes out. He's come out in P4 at the moment, and now in comes Roke. So I imagine he will pit. Well, I imagine he will go to the end, I should say, because he is pitting. I imagine he'll go to the end on this set of tyres. And the answer is 20 laps. So actually, no, he won't go to the end. So he's not going to go to the end of the race. So that is very interesting to see. I don't know why Lotus haven't gotten to go to the end, but we'll see if that works out for George Roke or not. As now there is Volker, who comes out ahead of him. I'm not sure if he has to make a stop before the end or not. Joseph Willows is not going to go to the end, so this is quite an interesting strategy. So Kuba at the moment is one of the only ones of the top 3 or 4 that doesn't have to go to the end. Will that work out for him? I'm not sure. We will have to see, as there's Viggo Holst coming through turn 1. As now there is Roke, who is going after Florian Volker, who now actually is pitting now. So will he have to go to the end? Or will he go to the end, I should say, on this set of tyres? And the answer is yes, he does.
Okay, no pressure.
So he will go to the end. So be interesting to see if that strategy for Lotus is going to work out for Roke, because he's, I think, one of the only ones that actually has to pit again. Really depends on his pace. As now into the pits comes Robert Ionescu for Sauber. And let's see where he comes back out on track. It's a 5.4 second stop. He will go to the end of the race, and he comes out in, looks like, P10. So now Roland Moitin comes in for his final stop of the race. He'll go to the end. It would be pretty silly with Williams not to get him to go to the end. And yes, he does. 27 laps. So there we go. And let's see where he comes out on track. And he'll come out, looks like, just inside the points. He's going to come out ahead of Robert Ionescu. And oh, there is Ionescu. So I think he's just going to come out in front. And indeed he does. But Ionescu is probably going to attack him coming on to the back straight. This is now right behind him as they come onto the back straight out of turn 2 and out of turn 3. As they now come onto the back straight heading towards the hairpin. And now Ionescu is going to make a move. He's got the slipstream. He's right behind Moitin. And now he's going to be on the inside coming into the hairpin. Is he going to make the move stick? And yes, he is. Oh, there was so nearly contact there. That was very, very close between Moitin and Ionescu, but they got away without any contact. And Ionescu makes his way into 8th place into the points. As now Sontag is attacking, I don't know who that was in front. But But anyway, I was having a look at Joseph Willows, who is, oh, he's actually got past Volker. I didn't actually realise this, so Roke has obviously got past Volker as well, but Joseph Willows has now got past Volker for P2, and you can have a look at how he did it. So he was on the inside, and Volker did try and defend, but Willows was already on the inside, and he had to move down, and there was, oh, I was so close there. Volker had to move out there, otherwise he would have made contact for sure, and there's a car off the track there. And who is that? And I can't quite tell who that is. And that is, oh, it's Sam Thompson. He's got a suspension problem, and he was running in the points for Toro Rosso, but he was going to have to make one more stop before the end. But any chance of points for him now has gone out of the window. So this happened heading towards the stadium section. It was a suspension failure, so he had to pull off the track. So very disappointing there for the British driver there. His chance of points unfortunately gone. So he unfortunately is out of the race, Sam Thompson. So that is going to mean that at the moment we won't have any Toro Rossos in the points, depending on how Franco Gamba is doing. But that is Thompson out of the race, and that promotes a couple of other drivers into points contention. As his car gets pushed away, you can see what part of the suspension is broken there. So now Mackenzie comes in for his final stop of the race. He's managed to recover all the way into P6, so that's a pretty impressive recovery. So he comes into the pits.
No pressure.
And where would he come out on track? Interestingly enough, 20 laps of fuel, so he'll obviously go to the end. 5.4 second stop. He's running in P6 at the moment. Is he going to come out ahead, interestingly enough, of Robert Ionescu? Not sure, but it's now here we are looking at the battle for second place at the moment between the two Ferraris, between Joseph Willows and Waze Cooper. This could have an impact on George Roke up in front, although Willows is pitting this lap, in fact. So it'll be interesting to see when Roke is pitting, because I don't believe he is actually pitted yet. We'll have to wait and see as now Willows does make the move stick on Kuba for second place, and now he's going to try and make sure he has a good in-lap before his stop, as now you can see Roke is coming in on this lap. So the question is, will he come out ahead of Waze Kuba? And I imagine even if Kuba does come out in front, Roke probably will close him down before the end. It depends on the gap rigs. I'm not entirely sure of what the gap is. Roke comes in, he'll go to the end. And where is he going to come out? Is he going to come out ahead of Kuba? So there is Kuba just coming through the turn, and I think Roke might have this, I think. And he comes out of the pits, and where is Kuba? And Kuba's only just coming down the front straight now. So Roke has got out in front, and he is still leading the race. So that strategy for Kuba has not worked out for him. We thought it might, but unfortunately it has not, and Roke has still got the lead of this race. So George Roke might be on for his first win here since actually Germany 2008, when we were using the old Hockenheim when he was racing for BMW Sauber. But unless Kuba has got some pace on those tyres, which I don't believe he has, and Roke now with fresher tyres, I think this is looking good for him. And oh, there's a car off, and that's Viggo Holst who's off. Viggo Holst who's running for P5 in McLaren, who's had a pretty quiet race to say the least. He was running, he's well behind, and he had I think that was a throttle problem, I think. Not entirely sure, but he put, oh no, it looks like a puncher, I think, by the looks of it. So Puncher has put Viggo Holst out the race with just 2 laps to go. And he was running in P5, that's going to promote Mackenzie up into the top 5. Ionescu is going to move up to P6. So well done Ionescu, we hadn't actually seen much of him in this race. He had a quiet race, but he's now in the points as well. But for Viggo Holst, that is not what he needed at all. So I believe it will be Waze Kuba, I think, that will take the lead of the championship. As anyway, here we are now on the last lap, and here is your race leader, George Roke. Someone who has not had the best, well, I mean, certainly in 2010 probably had an incredibly bad season. I mean, he had a good season in 2007 with Sauber. He had a better one in, well, I'd say he had a pretty good one in 2007. He had a good one in 2008. 2009 with Sauber kind of derailed a bit. 2010 for Sydney wasn't a great season, and then he went back to Lotus. People were surprised that he actually got a seat, considering how bad of a season he had in 2010, but he got with Lotus. He had an okay season last year, but he stayed with Lotus this season, and it has paid dividends. He has dominated this race. I mean, you could say he was lucky in qualifying to get pole position, because it had Volker not been held up on his lap, he would have taken pole for sure. But in wet conditions, Roke showed his pace. As he comes round into the stadium section, around the last section of the lap, Roke hasn't won a race, hadn't taken pole since Australia 2008. He hadn't taken a race win since Germany 2008. As he comes round the final corner, George Roke is going to take victory here in the German Grand Prix to take his first victory for Lotus. Congratulations to him. Robert Ionescu comes across the line to take 6th place. A good finish for him. Renaud Moynihan comes across the line to take 7th. And Alex Salkic can take the last point for Mercedes in 8th. Waze Kuba comes across the line in 2nd, so at least he still gets 2nd. Volker comes across in 3rd. And Zachary Fitzwater set to finish in 14th place. His race kind of derailed a little bit after what was a pretty good qualifying, as Franco Gamma just misses out on the points in 9th place. Joseph Willows comes across the line in P4. Adam Wolf is set to come home in P10 for Williams, as he now comes around the final corner and across the line. Felix Sontag comes across the line in P11. Michael Mocho just behind comes across the line in P12. He'll be giving his seat back to De Rosa for the next race. Now here's Jay McKenzie, who comes across the line in P5. Just imagine if he hadn't had that throttle problem, it could have been a much better day for Lotus, as now Roman Quagg comes around the final corner and he takes P13 as the race is now over. And there's Kuba's car actually being pushed away, so he's obviously had a problem just after the line. But anyway, here are the full race results. So George Rowe wins from Waze Kuba in 2nd, Volker 3rd, Willows in 4th, Kenzie in 5th, Inescu 6th, Renault Moit in 7th, and Alex Southgate 8th, with Franco Gamma in 9th, Adam Wolf, Michael Mocho, Roman Quagg, Felix Sontag, Zachary Fitzwater, and Viggo Holt still being classified despite his puncture, with Sam Thompson, Sean Grant, Ricky Falk-Rosane, Oliver Glazebrook, Amar Carr, Miko Scow, and Evan Byrne all having the incidents early on in the race, with the fastest lap being set by Rogue, a 1:21.246. I mean, that race was okay. I think I'd say probably on the new Hockenheim, I guess. But anyway, here are the driver's best laps fully. So you can see there, McKenzie actually set the 2nd best lap as well. Just imagine if he hadn't had that throttle problem. It could have been an even better day for Lotus. I reckon he probably would have got a podium. McKenzie, maybe even 2nd, I'm not sure. But he certainly would have got more out of the race if he hadn't had that throttle problem. But if we look at all these drivers' best laps as we go down, as there's obviously Byrne, Gow, Carr and Glazer, who didn't set a lap time because obviously they were eliminated on the first lap. But anyway, here are the point standings. So Kuba does in fact lead by 2 points ahead of Holst, who would have taken the lead in the standings had he not retired, with Volker ending his retirement streak by finishing 3rd with 43. Miklos Gau 4th with 37 points. Mackenzie 5th with 35. Roke up to 6th with 34 with that win. Byrne 7th with 33. Willows 8th with 31. And then a 10-point gap to Southgate with 21 points. And then a 13-point gap to Sontag. A big gap down there to 8 points. And herein it is very, very close. 4 drivers on 8 points. Sontag, Carl Moitin, and Riffy Hartgrazane. De Rosa on 7 points. Thompson and Inesco on 6 points. Wilnella on 5 points. Adam Wolf 3, Franco Gamma and Roman Quagg on 2, Oliver Glazebrook on 1, with Michael Mocho, Fitzwater and Sean Grant on 0 points. In the constructor standings, McLaren lead by 3 points ahead of Red Bull, who are just 2 points ahead of Ferrari. It's very close up there, with Lotus only 9 points behind in 4th place, with a massive 40-point gap to Mercedes in 5th, whilst India 6th with 15, Sauber 7th with 14, Williams 8th with 11, Torosso 9th with 8, Caterham 10th with 3 points, and Virgin last with 11 points. Well, that has been the German Grand Prix. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to, as usual, vote for your driver of the day and give the race a rating out of 10. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and we will see you for the next round of the Hungarian Grand Prix at the Hungaroring. Thanks for watching, and see you there.